with your sister, my other daughter, Frankie.
Yes. In a town built on perfect smiles, polished charm, and loud charisma, one woman broke every single rule, simply by refusing to play along. Aubrey Plaza walked into Hollywood with a blank stare, an unreadable expression, and an energy so strange that producers didn't know whether to cast her or call security. But behind those iconic deadpan eyes lies a story far darker and far more extraordinary than anyone imagined. A childhood marked by cultural contradictions. A career built on accidents. A mind shaped by improvisation, chaos, and an early life tragedy that nearly ended everything. A stroke, at just 20 years old, that stole her voice and paralyzed half her body. Yet somehow, through silence and stillness, she became one of the most intriguing actors of her generation. So the question is irresistible. How did a quiet, awkward girl from Delaware, someone who never fit Hollywood's mold, transform into the most unpredictable star in modern television and film? This is the story of Aubrey Plaza, the woman who didn't chase fame. She unsettled it. The actress who built a career not by being like everyone else, but by embracing the exact things that made her different, difficult, and unforgettable. Aubrey Christina Plaza was born on June 26, 1984, in Wilmington, Delaware, a quiet suburb far removed from the noise of show business. Her father, a Puerto Rican financial advisor, and her mother, an American lawyer, raised Aubrey and her two younger sisters in a home filled with discipline, warmth, and cultural contrast. But even as a child, Aubrey was different. While other kids smiled for photos, she stared blankly into the camera. While classmates fought to be popular, she drifted around the edges, absorbing, studying behavior like a scientist trapped inside a comedian's body. This oddness was not a phase. It was her nature. She often described herself as a troublemaker, but not in the usual sense. She wasn't loud. She was strangely quiet, playfully dark, and always one sarcastic comment away from confusing both teachers and parents. But then came the moment that would change her life forever. At just 20 years old, while studying film at NYU, Aubrey suffered a massive stroke. Her right side went numb. Her vision blurred. And worst of all, she lost the ability to speak. For days, doctors didn't know if she would fully recover. It was a terrifying experience. But it also awakened something fierce inside her. When she finally regained her voice, she promised herself she would use it, even if that voice didn't sound like anyone else's. After recovering from her stroke, Aubrey returned to New York with renewed determination. She joined the Upright Citizens Brigade, an improv comedy group known for absorbing misfits, eccentrics, and comedic rebels. But even there, Aubrey was unique. Her delivery was ice cold. Her expressions were minimal. Her timing was unsettling yet hypnotic. No one was doing what she was doing. And that was exactly the point. She soon landed small roles in web series and student films, but none of them captured the essence of her odd comedic power. Everything changed the day she auditioned for director Judd Apatow. Legend has it that she walked into the room, sat down, and answered every question with absolute monotone indifference. No performance. No fake energy. Just Aubrey. The room went silent. Producers stared. Apatow whispered, "I've never met anyone like her." She was cast in Funny People, 2009, and suddenly, Aubrey Plaza became Hollywood's new fascination. But her true breakthrough came with Parks and Recreation, where she originated April Ludgate, a role so iconic, so strangely perfect, that fans assumed the writers created April for Aubrey. They didn't, Aubrey would later say. "I walked in, and they rewrote the show." With April Ludgate, the world finally saw what improv rooms in New York had known for years. Aubrey Plaza wasn't acting weird. She was redefining comedy. As Parks and Recreation exploded into a global phenomenon, Aubrey Plaza became its most unpredictable force. April Ludgate, the deadpan intern with a hidden heart, evolved into one of television's greatest cult characters. Fans adored her. Memes immortalized her. Directors wanted her, but Aubrey wasn't satisfied with being just the weird girl of TV. She wanted more, and she fought for roles that challenged her typecasting. Her first major triumph came with Safety Not Guaranteed, an indie film that blended sci-fi, romance, and quiet melancholy. Critics praised her emotional depth, calling her performance unexpectedly soulful. Then came Legion, where she played a surreal, sinister, reality-bending villain, a role so complex it forced Hollywood to reconsider everything they thought she could do. Aubrey Plaza was no longer a comedy actress. She was a shapeshifter. Her ascent continued with Ingrid Goes West, where she portrayed a mentally unstable social media stalker. A terrifying, tragic figure that earned her Best Actress at the Sundance Film Festival. But the turning point, the moment she became truly global, was The White Lotus, 2022. Her performance as Harper, a woman unraveling under the pressure of truth and temptation, was chilling, magnetic, and eerily relatable. Social media couldn't stop talking about her. Award shows lined up nominations. Memes exploded again. Aubrey Plaza had done the impossible. She turned weirdness into prestige, sarcasm into art, silence into power. She didn't just peak, she transformed into a Hollywood anomaly, a mainstream star with indie soul and supernatural intensity. With fame came attention, and with attention came controversy. Aubrey Plaza found herself at the center of several debates that questioned her professionalism, her persona, and even her sanity. The most infamous moment occurred at the 2013 MTV Movie Awards. During Will Ferrell's acceptance speech, Aubrey suddenly ran on stage, barefoot, grabbed his award, and tried to pull it from his hands. The audience gasped. Security froze. Twitter exploded. She was escorted out of the building. Media outlets labeled her as unstable, drunk, or trying too hard to be weird. The truth? Aubrey later said she was attempting a surreal bit, a performance art prank gone wrong. But the damage was done. Hollywood was confused. Some producers distanced themselves, afraid she couldn't be controlled. Beyond that scandal, Aubrey frequently faced stereotypes. The deadpan girl, the sarcastic troublemaker, the actress who only plays herself. But every label felt like a cage. She also struggled privately with anxiety, the lingering trauma of her early stroke, and the pressure of constantly proving she was more than a meme. And then came the public scrutiny. Every interview she gave, awkward, tense, unpredictable, went viral. Sometimes fans laughed. Sometimes they criticized her. Sometimes they accused her of being rude or cold. Aubrey Plaza became a lightning rod, adored and attacked simultaneously. But instead of retreating, she sharpened her craft. Instead of apologizing, she evolved. Instead of trying to please Hollywood, she forced Hollywood to adjust to her. After years of being misunderstood, Aubrey Plaza reached a turning point. She began producing films through her company, Evil Hag Productions, giving herself and other unconventional artists the freedom Hollywood denied them. She embraced dramatic roles, darker themes, and complex psychology. She became more vocal about her Puerto Rican heritage. She stepped into leadership, creativity, and independence. Her reinvention culminated in The White Lotus, where she showcased a maturity and emotional range few expected. Industry analysts called it the performance that rewired her career. Suddenly, studios saw her differently. Not as a quirk, but as a force. Not as a meme, but as a contender. She had survived Hollywood not by changing who she was, but by amplifying it, proving that authenticity, even strange authenticity, has its own form of brilliance. Today, Aubrey Plaza stands as a symbol for every outsider who ever felt misunderstood. She represents the power of not fitting in, the beauty of awkwardness, and the courage to embrace one's oddest traits. She didn't follow Hollywood's rules, she rewrote them. She didn't mold herself into a star. She forced the world to accept her as she was. Her legacy is simple yet profound. You don't have to shine like everyone else. You just have to shine in your own strange way. And so we end with this. The journey of Aubrey Plaza proves that the most unforgettable stars are the ones who refuse to be anyone but themselves. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more untold Hollywood journeys.